It was a sombre day in London as Prince Harry arrived at the Royal Courts of Justice. He was there for a serious reason: to fight for his family's safety. The Duke of Sussex was appealing a previous court ruling. This ruling had blocked his legal challenge against the British government. At the heart of the matter was his security detail, or lack thereof, when he visited the UK. Missing from the scene was Harry's father, King Charles. The king was on a state visit to Rome. This only served to highlight the fractured relationship between father and son. Despite the king's absence, Harry seemed composed. He offered a small smile and a wave to the gathered crowds. Inside the courtroom, Harry's legal team, led by the formidable Shadid Fatima KC, was ready. They were prepared to present their case before the Master of the Rolls, Sir Geoffrey Voss, as the stakes were high. This case was not just about one man's security, it was about the safety of his wife and children. It was about family, duty, and the heavy price of freedom. Harry's legal team wasted no time in outlining their arguments. At the core of their case was the claim that the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, or RAVEC, had acted improperly. This powerful committee was responsible for determining the security arrangements for high-profile individuals like Harry. The lawyers argued that RAVEC had failed to follow its own procedures when it came to assessing the threats Harry faced. They claimed that the committee had not properly considered the unique risks associated with Harry's position. More specifically, they pointed to RAVEC's decision to bypass the Risk Management Board, or RMB. This board was supposed to provide an independent review of security arrangements. By bypassing the RMB, Harry's team argued, RAVEC had acted unfairly and potentially put Harry and his family at risk. They believed that this deviation from established procedures was a serious breach of protocol. Harry's legal team didn't stop there. They went on to argue that the prince had been treated differently than others in similar positions. They highlighted the other VIP category, a group that included individuals who received government-funded security. Harry's lawyers insisted that he wasn't seeking the same level of protection as a working royal. However, he did expect a fair and consistent process when it came to assessing his security needs. They emphasized that Harry was not asking for special treatment, just equal treatment. The lawyers pointed to what they called unjustified and inferior treatment in comparison to others in the other VIP category. This difference in treatment, they argued, was evidence of a flawed system, a system that was failing to adequately protect Harry and his family. A key element of Harry's case revolved around the Home Office's own policies. His legal team argued that the Home Office, the government department responsible for security matters, had breached its own rules. They claimed that the Home Office had not conducted a mandatory review by the Risk Management Board. This omission, they argued, was a clear violation of established protocol. Furthermore, Harry's lawyers contended that the Home Office had failed to adequately document its decision-making process. This lack of transparency, they argued, made it impossible to determine whether the decision to downgrade his security had been made fairly and objectively. The lawyers emphasized that these procedural errors were not mere technicalities, they were fundamental breaches of the Home Office's duty of care, a duty of care they owed to Harry and all individuals under their protection. Section 5. Behind closed doors. Despite the intense public interest in the case, certain parts of the hearing were held in private. This unusual step was taken to protect sensitive information that could potentially compromise the safety of individuals involved. The Master of the Rolls, Sir Geoffrey Voss, acknowledged the public's right to know. However, he stressed the importance of maintaining confidentiality when dealing with matters of national security. While some argued that the private sessions undermined the principle of open justice, others defended the decision. They emphasized the exceptional circumstances of the case, circumstances that required a delicate balance between transparency and security. The judge, walking a tightrope between these competing interests, allowed for some details to remain confidential. To understand the full context of the legal battle, it's necessary to rewind to 2020. This was a pivotal year for Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle. They made the momentous decision to step back from their roles as senior members of the royal family. This decision, dubbed Megxit by the media, sent shockwaves around the world. It was during this period of upheaval that Harry's automatic right to police protection in the UK was revoked. The government argued that as non-working royals, Harry and Meghan were no longer entitled to the same level of security as before. This decision was met with immediate pushback from Harry. He argued that he and his family were still at risk, even without their royal roles. Harry and Meghan's decision to step back from royal life wasn't just about escaping the pressures of the British tabloid media, it was also about taking control of their own lives and building a new future for their growing family. They relocated to California, where they hoped to find a sense of normalcy and privacy. However, their hopes for a peaceful life were soon dashed. The couple continued to face intense media scrutiny, and their security became a constant concern. Harry, in particular, was acutely aware of the dangers his family faced. He had grown up with the constant threat of paparazzi intrusion and knew firsthand the risks involved. Harry's legal battle over his security arrangements wasn't just about his relationship with the British government. It also brought to light the complexities of his relationship with his father, King Charles. Harry had publicly expressed his belief that his father could play a role in ensuring his family's safety. However, Buckingham Palace had repeatedly denied that the king had any influence over Ravek's decisions. They insisted that security arrangements were a matter for the government, not the monarchy. This stance further strained the already fragile relationship between father and son. Despite these denials, Harry remained convinced that his father had the power to intervene. This belief, coupled with the very real threats his family faced, fueled his determination to fight for their protection. He was not willing to back down, not when the safety of his wife and children was at stake. As the first day of the hearing came to a close, it was clear that Harry's legal battle was far from over. He was prepared to take his fight all the way to the highest court in the land, if necessary. For Harry, this was not just a legal battle, it was a personal crusade. He was determined to protect his family, even if it meant challenging the very institution he was born into. This unwavering commitment to his family's well-being resonated with many who saw him as a loving husband and father fighting for what he believed was right. The outcome of this legal battle remained uncertain. However, one thing was clear: Harry was not going to give up without a fight. His presence in that London courtroom was a testament to his unwavering commitment to his family and his belief in their right to safety and security. He was prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead, driven by the love for his family and the desire for a safer future.